Welcome back to Elderly Rise, a place where we celebrate life after retirement with meaning, wisdom, and peace. In our golden years, many of us finally get the chance to breathe, relax, and enjoy the fruits of decades of hard work and dedication to our families. This is the time to live peacefully, healthily, and joyfully. But reality isn't always that simple. Out of love and a sense of responsibility, many parents end up giving too much to their children after retirement, even things they should hold on to for their own well-being. Good intentions can quietly turn into burdens, slowly eroding the peace we've worked so hard to achieve. In today's video, we'll share 7 things you should never give your child after retirement, not because you don't love them, but because you deserve to live in peace. Watch until the end, as each point can help you build healthy boundaries and protect your happiness without damaging your family relationships. Number 1. After retirement, many parents feel that giving money to their children is a form of love and responsibility. Often, when a child comes asking for financial help, we instinctively want to assist without much thought. Especially when they're struggling, it feels like a moral duty to step in. But did you know? This well-meaning act can backfire and actually harm your own well-being in later years. When you give money without limits or clear purpose, you slowly open the door to dependency. Children may grow accustomed to asking for help without learning financial responsibility. More concerning, you could begin to lose control over your own spending and your financial security at a time when your personal needs are likely to increase and become more unpredictable. Protecting your peace after retirement doesn't mean you stop giving. It means you give wisely. Help when you can, but make sure your support doesn't come at the cost of your own stability. Set healthy boundaries, such as only helping in emergencies or creating a clear financial plan together. This isn't being selfish, it's responsible love. We also need to learn how to say enough with calm and compassion. If you feel guilty for refusing to give, remember this: you've already raised your children into adulthood, and that is the greatest gift of all. Now is your time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, free from unnecessary burdens. Because in your later years, peace of mind is far more valuable than temporary approval. Money can be earned or replaced, but peace and security cannot be bought back once lost. So stop feeling guilty for protecting your rights. Your peace is the greatest legacy you can leave, not just for yourself, but for the family you love. Number 2. In retirement, a home is more than just a structure with walls and a roof. It's a place where memories were built, where joys and sorrows were shared, and where you find peace in your golden years. Often, out of deep love for our children, we feel tempted to hand over the house to them, hoping it will help them start their lives more easily. But be careful, because good intentions can sometimes backfire. Many seniors have ended up losing their right to live in their own home after transferring the deed to a child without proper legal agreements. When life circumstances change, such as a divorce, financial strain, or family conflict, you might find yourself caught in emotional or even legal disputes in the very home you once built with love. Some have even been forced to leave the house they once called their sanctuary. That's why it's essential to protect your most important asset wisely. If you truly want to help your children, consider safer options, such as conditional gifting, shared ownership, or rental agreements with clear terms. Never feel guilty for wanting to ensure that you have a secure place to live for the rest of your life. This isn't about being selfish, it's about self-respect and stability. As a parent, you deserve to feel safe and at peace in the home you worked hard for. Don't feel pressured to sacrifice your comfort, especially without clear boundaries. Your home is a symbol of security, for you, and truthfully, for your entire family. And remember, your child's true love and respect won't be measured by what you give away, but by how they honor your decisions and support your peace of mind. Protect your home, and you are protecting your right to live with dignity in your later years. Number 3. After retirement, you're supposed to have more time for yourself, to enjoy your hobbies, relax, or simply sit on the porch with a cup of tea. But too often, the time that should belong to you ends up being taken over by requests from your children or family. Without realizing it, you're pulled back into a busy routine, not for a job, but to meet other people's expectations. Many parents feel guilty when they say no to their children's requests, whether it's babysitting grandchildren, running errands, or becoming an unpaid assistant. But every hour of your life now is incredibly valuable. Retirement is not the time to prove yourself, it's the time to honor your own life. Being a caring parent is noble, but being endlessly available can leave you physically and emotionally drained. If you constantly sacrifice your time for things your children should handle themselves, over time, you may lose your sense of self and the space to grow as an individual in your golden years. Set healthy boundaries. You don't have to feel bad for not always saying yes. A mature child will understand that you are human too, not a personal assistant always on call. Teaching your children to be independent can actually strengthen your relationship because healthy connections are not built on endless sacrifice. Remember, your time is a gift. Don't give it all away without keeping enough for yourself. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's a form of love, both for yourself and for your family. A parent who is calm and happy is a blessing to everyone who loves them. Number 4. Becoming a grandparent is a beautiful blessing. The presence of grandchildren can bring new joy and energy in your later years. Playing and spending time with them can lift your spirits and strengthen family bonds. Many parents feel proud to still be needed, especially when it comes to caring for their grandchildren. However, without realizing it, that love can slowly turn into an overwhelming role. Caring for grandchildren all day, driving them to school, cooking, and even taking on the responsibilities of their parents. The days that were supposed to be calm and peaceful suddenly become filled with tasks and fatigue. You may not want to complain, but your body certainly feels the burden. The problem arises when occasional help turns into an ongoing obligation without limits. You begin to lose time for yourself, no time to rest, socialize, or enjoy hobbies in retirement. Your life is no longer fully your own, but shaped around someone else's needs and schedule. There's nothing wrong with helping your children once in a while, but it's also important to recognize that your later years are a time to care for yourself too. You've spent decades working, raising a family, and making sacrifices. Now is the time to enjoy what you've earned, not to return to the same demanding role. Saying no doesn't mean you love them any less. In fact, it's a healthier form of love, both for yourself and your family. By setting clear boundaries, you can still be a loving grandparent without sacrificing the peace and well-being you deserve in your golden years. Number 5. Many parents feel obligated to help their children get out of financial trouble. It's a natural instinct to protect, to assist, and to make sure they don't fall too far. But after retirement, you need to be much more cautious. Your finances are no longer as flexible as they once were during your working years, and even small mistakes can have serious consequences for your future. Becoming a guarantor for your child's loan, or worse, taking out debt in your own name to help them, can be a very risky decision. If they fail to pay it back, The responsibility falls squarely on your shoulders. Countless seniors have lost their homes, savings, and retirement funds due to choices made with good intentions. What starts as love can turn into a heavy burden. Remember, in retirement, your primary focus should be long-term financial security. This stage of life is meant to be a reward for decades of hard work, not a time to carry financial stress that doesn't belong to you. Adult children must learn to be accountable for their own financial decisions and mistakes. That doesn't mean you should turn your back on them. You can still offer moral support, financial advice, or limited help that doesn't endanger your own stability. If necessary, guide them toward a financial advisor or alternative solutions that don't involve risking your peace of mind. Saying no to being a financial guarantor doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're wise and thinking ahead. You're protecting yourself so you don't become a burden to them later on. Your peace of mind and financial safety are priceless, and you absolutely deserve both. Number 6. In retirement, many of us have spent a lifetime working hard and managing to save or accumulate some assets. This is the fruit of your dedication, and you have every right to feel proud of it. However, some parents become too open with their children about exactly how much they have, perhaps out of trust, love, or simply thinking that transparency is best in the family. But being too transparent about your finances can actually invite unnecessary pressure. Children may, often unintentionally, develop expectations that you're always available to help financially. In some cases, it can even lead to sibling rivalry, jealousy, or an unhealthy sense of dependency. The truth is, your savings should serve as a safety net for your own peace of mind in old age, not a backup plan for the entire family. That doesn't mean you have to keep everything a secret. What matters is knowing who to share with, when, and how much. If you feel the need to talk about inheritance or long-term planning, it's best done thoughtfully, ideally with clear boundaries and legal support, such as a will or a family meeting with a financial advisor. Remember, keeping your finances private isn't a sign of distrust, it's a form of self-respect and protection. You are drawing the line between generosity and self-preservation. When these boundaries are clear, mutual respect within the family tends to grow stronger and healthier. In retirement, peace and security should come first. So there's nothing wrong with keeping certain things just for yourself. As the old saying goes, not everything that is known needs to be said, and not everything that is said needs to be known. Number 7. Guilt is one of the heaviest emotional burdens many parents carry after retirement. We often feel obligated to say yes to our children, even when their requests leave us emotionally drained, physically tired, or financially stretched. Retirement should be a time to focus on ourselves, to enjoy the rewards of decades of hard work. But that nagging sense of guilt can override logic, causing us to put our own needs last just to keep everyone else happy. Many parents fear that by saying no, they'll be seen as unloving, selfish, or even stingy. But in truth, setting healthy boundaries doesn't make you a bad parent. In fact, it teaches your children an important lesson that every person, including their aging parents, deserves to be respected, heard, and protected. Real love isn't measured by how much you sacrifice. It's reflected in mutual respect and balance within the relationship. Saying no is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of courage. It's a way of standing up for your own well-being and saying, "My peace matters too." There's nothing wrong with choosing your health, your rest, or the life you carefully planned for your golden years. In fact, by saying no to things that feel overwhelming or unhealthy, you're modeling something powerful for your children. That self-care is not weakness, it's wisdom. Too many parents reach their later years feeling exhausted and unappreciated, all because they said yes too often when their hearts were silently pleading no. They feel regret, loneliness, and even resentment, emotions that could have been avoided if only they'd known it was okay to protect their peace. That's why it's time to release the unnecessary guilt. This guilt doesn't come from love. It comes from old beliefs that need to be rewritten. A good parent isn't one who gives everything away, but one who knows when to give and when to stand firm. So today, allow yourself the freedom to say no without guilt. You are still a loving, generous parent, even if you don't meet every request. Remember, peace in your older years is a right, not a reward. And when you guard your own peace, you're also teaching your children something beautiful, for their future and for yours. Protecting your peace after retirement doesn't mean you're no longer a parent. It's actually the most mature form of love. When you take care of yourself, you're also teaching your children to take responsibility for their own lives. Remember, your later years are meant to be a time of rest and fulfillment, not of carrying new burdens. Saying no to things that may disturb your peace isn't selfish, it's wise. You can still offer love, time, and guidance without sacrificing your own well-being. Inner peace, a sense of security, and personal space are rights you fully deserve. If this video touched your heart or gave you a fresh perspective, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. Here on Elderly Rise, let's continue growing stronger, more peaceful, and wiser together in this beautiful stage of life. See you in the next video.